Welcome to our 5 on 5. I'm honored to be joined today by SOU's new president, just a couple of days into his new gig, Dr. Richard J. Bailey. It's a pleasure to meet you, sir. Thanks for coming and joining us. Welcome to Southern Oregon.
Oh, it's great to be with you, Craig. Thank you so much for having me.
So I want to start, interestingly enough, with your extensive military background. We talked about how much I love the planes above your head. You've even written a book on military strategy. What can we infer from that about how you will lead SOU?
That's a great question, Craig. So let me answer it in two different ways. First of all, I want to share with the audience that my recognition that a military organization and a university are two very, very different organizations. And so the type of leadership required for each is very different. There are stories around the country of military leaders who have gone on to, not all, but military leaders who have gone on to run universities like a military organization, and they end up in complete disaster. So my pledge is not to run it necessarily like a military organization in all ways. But I think there are some lessons from how the military approaches complex problems that I think can be instructive in higher education, in the sense that we live in a highly complex and dynamic environment, an environment that we don't always fully understand. And so that creates uncertainty, which is important to strategic decision making. And sorry for the complicated answer, but I do think there are some lessons to be learned there.
Sure, no, I understand, absolutely. So you share that your ethos is servant leadership. What does that mean for Rick Bailey and SOU?
Yeah, thanks for the question, Craig. I think for me, it means that although I serve at the pleasure of the Board of Trustees, which every chief executive does in higher ed, I also serve at the pleasure of the students, and I serve at the pleasure of the faculty and the pleasure of the staff. And there are so many different stakeholders at SOU, and rightly so, all of them have certain expectations for me in this role. And I need to be respectful of all of those different constituencies and make sure that as president, I am of service to all of those different groups, who, by the way, don't always agree on every issue, right? So it makes the position complex, but it's a wonderful leadership challenge, and I think it gives leaders a chance to really demonstrate that type of servant leadership. That's why I'm having people trying to have everyone here call me Rick, because I work for them. So that's what I intend to do here.
And I understand you, and maybe this is how you lead. I understand that you like to lead from the heart. Is that how you make those difficult decisions when weighing those different factors?
I think that's a good way to put it. I don't. There's a balance. There's a balance of heart and mind. And if I make decisions that is solely based on cold, calculated logic, sometimes you miss that there are emotional factors that deal with a lot of these very, very top level strategic decisions. And I think as long as a team, university-wide, I think as long as a team, we are keeping students thriving at the heart of what we do, and that we are coming from a good natured, heart-centered place, then I think likely we're going to make the best decisions that we can. I will pledge this to all of your audience, that in this job, I will never make a decision based on a negative emotion, ever. I don't think there's any place for that in higher education. I really don't think there's a place for that in any organizational leadership role. But when you can make very thoughtful decisions, knowing that not everyone is always going to be satisfied with those, but if you can come at it from a heart-centered place, I think the chances for that organization to be successful are higher.
Okay, very good. We're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll have much more in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to our 5 on 5. We're here with new SOU president, Dr. Rick Bailey Jr. We were talking before about your leadership style. I want to ask about bringing people to SOU and certainly growing the campus community. How do you make SOU more attractive to young people today, obviously with the pandemic and costs of higher ed?
Great question, Craig. So a couple of things. First of all, I think that when we look at the attractiveness of SOU, which by the way attracted me to this area. I think SOU sits in a sweet spot in the sense that it is large enough that it has this robust portfolio of student experiential options, right? Everything from athletics to the arts and the wide assortment of really, really good, high quality curricular programs. All of that stuff is fantastic. But it also is small enough as a regional comprehensive university that there are opportunities, strong opportunities for very, very close personal relationships between students and faculty, and really between students and staff and students and community and everything else. So likely if I go to SOU students and ask them, I bet almost to a person that students will tell me that there are faculty and staff members who know them by name, who know their families, who really, really care about that students in an interpersonal way. And I think that puts SOU in a really, really interesting category, and that can set us up for success moving forward. With regards to the pandemic, and that's the second part of your question, we have to keep health and safety at the forefront of everything that we do. I do take our role as the university vis-a-vis the community very, very seriously, and I think we can be role models in how we demonstrate behavior.
Thank you so much for taking the time. I think it's only your third or fourth day in the new job, so I know how busy you are this week. Again, thank you. This won't be the last time we do this, I hope.
I look forward to it again. Thanks so much, Craig. I appreciate it.
All right. Have a great day. We'll be right back.